It's an organization that was founded in 1914 in Kingston by our first national hero. And it's actually twin organizations, Universal Negro Improvement Association and the African Communities League. The UNIA is a charitable, social-friendly fraternity. The African Communities League, however, was developed by Marcus Garvey to be sort of this conglomerate of businesses. It was the business from which he launched the famous Black Star Line. But what a lot of people don't know is that while the Black Star Line was founded in June of 1919, in March of that year, Garvey founded what he called the Universal Restaurant in Harlem, which brought African and Caribbean cuisine to Harlem at the time. What was going on, we now know today as the Harlem Renaissance. So, you know, the UNIA in Jamaica is seeking to sort of resurrect a lot of the businesses that Garvey had. We're trying to rebuild the organization. And so last year, the idea came about of why don't we recreate this universal restaurant that Garvey had in New York. But we didn't want to do, you know, the regular Caribbean food, being that we're in Jamaica. And when we looked around, we said, you know what? Isn't it weird that being a country of 90% African descendants, we don't have any African restaurants in Jamaica? A lot of our local cuisine is very African-based. Saltfish and okra, even things like jerk chicken, jerk pork was developed by the Maroons. So we know the African culture is infused in our food, but we, because of the development of things like Rastafari and us being a very cultural people, we tend to think that African cuisine, I get this a lot when people come in, they say, oh, African cuisine, what do you have, chunks, or do you have item? And I'm like, no. Africa is a continent of over 54 countries, right? With varying cuisines right across the continent. Our chef is from Nigeria. His name is Prince Ohe. Nigerian royalty, he will tell you. My wife is a great supporter. I mean, even before she was my wife, being a member of the UNIA, so a lot of the decoration, a lot of the little things that brings up the cafe is done by her.
When you came here, you mentioned you had just a concrete slab.
Yes, it was pretty much just a slab. And we put it in the concrete and we decided to put some bamboo and use the natural resources of Jamaica, planting the trees and the plants and the greenery that you see. And with our sister company, the whole thing was about bringing the natural resources and recycling what we can find into the space.
And we do see subtle little images of Africa too, there and there.
Yeah, we see some of the African images and some of the kings or queens of Africa and great leaders you will see pasted around the cafe. It's for people to kind of sit down while you're waiting and say, who is that? Read a little on Garvey, read a little on, you know, some of the kings, etc. And then what happens if you can name all the kings, queens, or leaders on that wagon wall, then you get free meal. You know all that? All right. If you can name all of those African leaders, then you'll get a free meal. But really, this is a space for knowledge, you know. The basic essentials in life is food and education.
How have you been received by your fellow Kingstonians?
Let me tell you, the response is amazing. Every time somebody comes and eats at Cafe Africa, you will find a tweet at Cafe Africa JA. You will find a Facebook, Cafe Africa JA message just saying thank you so much, the cuisine was wonderful. And as I said, we've had all kinds of Kingstonians.
At least one dish from North Africa, at least one dish from West Africa, from East Africa, from Central Africa, and from South Africa. This is sort of how we put our menu together. We do chicken, we do beef, we do fish, we do vegetable dishes.
What about some of your guests? Who have you had stop by since you've opened?
Oh boy, since we've opened, we've had an array of people. I mean, from prime ministers to Hollywood actors, to Nollywood actors. One of the greatest satisfactions I have is when somebody comes in and they say, what kind of food you have here? We say African. They're like, African? What kind of food is that? I don't know about that. I don't know if I eat that. And then so after we coax them, we make some suggestions. We say, try this, man. And we bring the food. I have never gotten back one rice grain in the bowl or one piece of fufu in the bowl. Fingers are licked after we wash your hands, and we wash your hands after you finish eating again. And the response, I always wait for that key moment to be like, so how was the food? Now, oh yeah, it was good, man, it was good. And that is a good reward.
Sanitized water, you know?
The Cafe Africa experience is unique in another way.
Two of our more popular appetizers here is the ndizi, which is a fried banana. We give you a little salt on that, always good to have that with lime. The piri-piri chicken we do here, we only use wings or legs, and we serve it as an appetizer, even though in southern Africa they do piri, the whole chicken. Piri-piri comes from the Portuguese word for pepper. So it's seasoned with Scotch bonnet and lemon juice, right? So we try not to make it too hot. It's not too hot, is it? But you taste the pepper. And that comes with lime also. A lot of lemon, a lot of citrus being involved. Right. So you have here your East African appetizer and your South African appetizer. Right? And of course we have our famous Tej, the Ethiopian honey wine that we make here. You see our little B on the front with the UNIA colors. This is a Cafe Africa product made with 100% Jamaican honey.
Just all this natural. Bitter groundnuts and peanuts. This one we use for the mchicha. So throw it in there now. It's very simple to cook and natural and very tasty. Because for those who don't eat meat, this is a good breakfast in the morning. With anything you want, some fried dumpling. Or we, the African, will use the fufu.
I'm going to give you Chef's African Jamaican mixed accent. When we first opened, everybody was coming and saying, I want fufu and dongo dongo. I went him again, fufu and dongo dongo. I said, yes, that is fufu from West Africa, and dongo dongo, our Congolese dish. And you see when they leave, Chef was saying, MP, MP. The Jamaica, they don't want rice and peas again. A fufu and dongo will take the place. A fufu and dongo will take over. Chef would laugh. And it would sweet me every day. Love coming to Cafe Africa just to hear that.
This is a section where everything that is eaten will be eaten with the fufu. That's the pounded cassava. It's a West African staple. They make it either from plantain or cassava or from corn. In East Africa they call it ugali. In South Africa they call it satsa. We have the machicha that the chef just showed you how we prepare. And we also have dongo dongo, which is the heart of the Congo, saltfish and okra stew. Alright, so let me just bring this over now for Kimberly. I see you guys have been enjoying the honey wine. Wow, this bottle was full when I brought it 10 minutes ago. Now everybody's gonna try, but we've already washed your hands, Kimberly, so I'm gonna give you a little demonstration. So this is fufu, pounded cassava. You break off a piece. What you wanna do is sort of flatten it out to make like a spoon-like material. And I'm going for the dongo dongo. You then dip it in the dongo. Note my fingers are not in the stew. Fingers are always on your fufu. You make a little roll there. Pop it in the mouth. Excellent. Magnifico. Go ahead and try it. Machicha, dongo from the Congo, fufu from West Africa. So you have a marriage of West, Central, and East Africa.
I don't touch it.
No.
It's key.
Yeah, that's alright, that's alright. Kind of like our bami, right? Has a bami taste, the fufu, naturally, because it's
Different
the cassava.
consistency,
Yeah.
Don't touch.
Well, you know,
You have to.
that's a good thing when you eat with family and we know your hands are clean because we washed it ourselves. How is that?
Very good.
So, this is where you get the good food. People come down to Cafe Africa, learn to eat with your fingers. Cafe Africa dessert, the only place in the world that you can find chocolate sugar cane. Now you may ask yourself, what is chocolate sugar cane? Now to be honest with you, my wife invented this dessert when she was pregnant with our son. And when she said, oh, I want to put some chocolate on the sugar cane, oh, we should sell it as a dessert. And we all said to her, look here, woman. No, we didn't all say that. I said that. I said, look here, woman.
You're pregnant.
Not everybody's pregnant. But then she put She made me taste one, and I have to say, it's a great combination. And then we put a little research behind it, and we say, since that we're in Cafe Africa, we are the chocolate people, the African people of the world, and we know that we were brought to the West to cut sugar cane. So we blend up the thing, and we make it chocolate sugar cane, and we give it to you. And so I'm going to let Kimberly sample and tell you what she thinks. Drum roll. Chocolate sugar cane, the bittersweet experience of Africa in the world. Only at Cafe Africa.
Now, who could have thought that chocolate would get sweeter?
Yeah. It's nice, right? Make sure it tastes good.
Take a visit to Africa Town and see how the entrepreneurial spirit of Marcus Garvey has been revitalized in an extremely delicious way.
Thanks, Cafe Africa. That was incredible. We'll have more island dreams when we come back.